Hey, what up? It's your boy AP with a new video. Today I'm gonna talk about some little stories, my little pothead stories back in the day when I was, a youngster, a young mustache. Uh, I got a couple of stories. I got a couple of stories that are kind of funny. I'm not, I don't know which one I'm gonna start off with, but yeah, when I was a kid, I like smoking weed just like a lot of people, in the world. And, we try to find, I try to find some money, come up with some money. I don't know how we do it. I was like a little crackhead, Like, I don't know how I'm gonna, like, smoke today, but I'm gonna find a way. Like a crackhead out here, homeless, they don't got no shoes on, no pants, whatever. But somehow they make it happen. But that's what it was, when I was smoking weed. I didn't have a job. I don't know how I did it, but I found a way to, get like, a couple bucks, to buy me a dime sack or a dub. And, smoke for the day. I was living out there in Northern California, probably like from when I was smoking, it was like '08. you know, '08, '09 were like when we were smoking. '09, yeah, '09. Yeah, '08 and '09, that's when I was smoking, smoking heavy, that's like heavy. And I remember one time I want to go smoke, right? With my brother and his friend. We have our little spots, We have our little spots. It was funny, It was like we had our own, like, at least like a handful of spots where, there were good smoking spots, like a park, just a neighborhood where, like, people just don't trip. And we found there's this one park. And I think, I don't know if we're in my car, my mom's car, or my brother's friend's car. But the thing is, we parked up. We went walking into like there's like a trail, a lot of trees. We rode up, we smoked, and as we're walking back to the car, we were already pretty high, and when we were walking back to the car, man, it felt like forever. It's like we kept walking, and the car wouldn't just, like, it wouldn't get any closer. It felt like we were walking for, like, I don't know, like 15 minutes, but it was like we're just, I was, that was like funny, and we're just high, and but yeah, the car just never seemed to get any closer, and we were just walking, like, and we even took a break, like, man, like, bro, like, how far is this car? How far did we park? But we didn't even park. I don't know what we were just, high. And that was one story, And then there's another story, we're high again, and we're driving around the neighborhood trying, I don't know what we're doing. I think we were trying to find another connection, to buy another dime sack or something. Most likely, I can't recall why we're driving around the neighborhood, going in circles, and we're going kind of fast, but we hit this one bump. We go boom. We're like, oh shit, and everyone is like, oh. And it felt like, again, we're up in the air for like 7 seconds, but it just, we were up in the air for a little bit because we're going pretty quick. When we hit that big old bump, and we're just like, wheels, felt like a scene from Bad Boys or something, like, when they're in a car chase or something like that. But that was funny too. And then when we landed, we're like, dang. And we're like, yo, bro, that felt like we're stuck in the air for like a minute or something, and we just started laughing. And then another story, quick story is we went to the dispensary. I don't know how we were able to get, one of us, I think, was like old enough to, one of our friends were old enough to go get some weed from the dispensary, but we were trying to get a lot, but for good quality weed. And somehow one of our guys got hands on I think the strain was called God's Gift. That's what I remember. Who knows what it was called, but it was very purple. And but we got the shake. We didn't get the because we wanted more weed, right? So we didn't get the buds, the flowers. We just got like the shake that the falls off of the flower. So we got like I don't know, like a container full of shake, but of good quality weed. And we rolled it up. I think we all had school that day, but we didn't go to school. So, we're geniuses. And we rolled it up. We smoked. We went outside to smoke. And then we sat back down in the living room. There's probably I don't know if there, I can recall, I don't know. There's probably 7 or 8 of us. And we're just in the living room, and it's kind of dark, it was kind of like a dark moment, and it was just quiet. We're just all, have you ever seen those commercials or something like, oh, Jimmy hasn't moved in a couple days, it's ever since he started smoking weed, he just sits there and he doesn't do nothing. That was us right there, and we're just quiet, just for I don't know, I think it was 4 or 5 minutes. We didn't even say a word. We're just, and then one of us were I don't know, someone said dang, we're really high, man. No one said a word in 4 or 5 minutes. And we just started cracking up. But yeah, we were man, we're really high. That's one of the that I can recall where we're just really, really, really high. And then, another couple of stories, trying to buy because at that time we didn't really smoke out of bongs, and we didn't really, that wasn't the popular thing to do. We didn't really smoke out of joints, bongs, or pipes, or any of that new stuff, they dabbing. I don't think that was popular or out yet. I'm not quite sure. But all we did was just smoke blunts and Swisher cigars. You cut up the Swisher. You cut it up, you drop the tobacco guts, and then, you roll your weed, dry it up with the lighter, and that's the way we would smoke. And we always try to have a hard time trying to sometimes get our Swisher sweets, because, obviously we're underage. So I would always at least try. Some would sell it to me, or to some of us, but yeah, we just have a hard time trying to get some Swisher sweets to smoke. And let me see what other little story. Yeah, I think I had a couple more stories, but I can't recall right now. I wrote them down, but I'm too lazy to go get the notes. Let me see. But let's see if I remember some other weed stories. Let me see what time we're at. We're at 8:51. All right. See if I can remember more weed stories. But let me tell you a quick story with Spice synthetic marijuana. Man, terrible idea. We got our hands on one time, the first time, it wasn't that bad, but the second time, the second bag I purchased, I was with my dad, and and my brother. I'm always with my brother, and we went down to Bakersfield, a beautiful town, luscious green, lots of job opportunities, hardly any homeless people or drug addicts. And if any of you guys know Bakersfield, California, you guys obviously know I'm being sarcastic. But we're down there in Bakersfield, hot as hell, I'm sweating my balls off down there. We're down there for for one of my dad's. He had something to do down there, right? And my dad went out to eat with some of his friends. And it was just me and my brother were bored, and we had some spice. I don't know I don't know if we bought it in Bakersfield or if we bought it from where we came from back home. And we're like, you know what? Let's just. I think we were smoking a couple times and we did trip out. But this night we just took, big hits. I think it was just one hit. I took a big hit. Like the other ones were like baby hits. It was like from like smoking. I smoked cigarettes before, weed. One time a little bit of cocaine in it. But I didn't really feel nothing, that was just like one time. I was like, they said it was cocaine, but I didn't feel nothing. It felt like a regular blunt. I didn't feel, probably baby powder. Anyways, so yeah, those are the things that I smoked all my life. Cigarettes, weed, and spice, and one coke blunt, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a thing or not. But yeah. But this was the worst experience. After like I would say like a minute, I could just, the effects of it. It was horrible. It was horrible. I was paranoid. I felt like I couldn't walk straight. And then I went back into the hotel and I laid down and I thought that people were coming for us. And then I felt like there's like ants or bugs crawling all over my body. It just had really dark thoughts. And I was like, man, I want this night to be over, man. I can't even, just explain too much of the feeling. If you guys ever had a bad trip, it just felt like, you were just, like in a dark place, and you felt like bugs. I felt like, I don't know about my brother. I don't know what he was feeling, but he didn't have a good experience as well too. So that was that. And then after that, I went to sleep, tried to sleep it off. The very next morning, I got up early. I grabbed that. We had a lot too. We barely even we still had a lot. I just grabbed that thing and threw it over to the canal. There was like a canal outside of the hotel. And I just threw it over. Like, I don't even want a homeless person or any person just walking around to find it and smoke it. I don't even want them to experience that. So I just threw it in the canal. Because I didn't want no one to find it. I didn't even want them to experience what I experienced that night. So, I just threw it in the canal to make sure that, no one doesn't even, has the chance to smoke it. Because, in Bakersfield, they'll try to smoke a lot of things, down there. So, yeah, that's about it. Let's see, do I got any another weed story? Oh yeah, this is the last story, right? Let me see, we're at 13:52. This is good enough to. How old am I? I'm like maybe 16. I'm back home with my pops, chilling in my room. And my pops was at home, and I decided to I was too lazy to go outside and smoke or find somewhere else to smoke, right? I was just too lazy. I was like, I just want to smoke and watch my TV, right? So I said, man, I'm just gonna I think it was out of a pipe. Yeah, it was probably out of a pipe. So I just smoked a bowl. Thought it was all good, I was like, man, next thing you know, Pops knocks on the door, right? I'm like, shit. I knew it. My something was telling me don't do it. But my laziness got me in trouble. So my pops barges in. He's like, I smell weed in here. But in Spanish though, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you guys are smoking in my house? And I'm already high, you know, I'm like, you know, my eyes like red as the devil's dick, right? And he's like, man, I told you guys not to smoke in my house. He got hella mad. And I had this little cheap ass TV. We just barely bought it like at Walmart. Cheap, but it was brand new to me, you know. I thought I was balling with that little TV, you know. I don't know if it was like a 20-inch or something like that, or 20 something, but it was not big, bro. But like it was like a little cheap ass TV. But I thought that was, you know, that was balling to me, you know. Almost like, I think it was not that old. It was like a month or a couple weeks that I just got it. My dad, like Bruce Lee, he just went sass. I don't know if you guys ever seen Dave Chappelle when Dave you know, kicks Rick James in the chest and Rick James just goes flying out like that, and you know, that was my TV right there, you know. My dad was Charlie Murphy and my TV was Rick James, you know. He just went karate something, you know. Bah! Damn, flew my TV, you know, hit the back of the wall, and I was like, dang. And yeah, he, you know, I can't recall if he beat my ass or not, but I can't recall that, but, yeah, but my TV, man, I was sad, you know, my TV. I was tripping about my TV, but yeah, those are a couple of, you know, pothead stories I had when I was, you know, a youngster. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy those little. For any of you, I know there's a lot of smokers out there, you know. You could probably take a puff to these little pothead stories, you know. And I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.